So, have the two of you plunged?
I have plunged before when I was younger.
Uh-huh. How about you, Brady?
I have plunged before, and I will be plunging this upcoming Thursday.
At the stadium with RSL. Checking in here from RSL and the Royals. We have with us from the team, Kyle Schroeder, VP Community and Player Engagement. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So, what made you guys decide, hey, we're going to do this year?
Yeah, it's something we've been working with the Special Olympics for a little bit. You know, it's something that our stadium hasn't been used right now, so there's a great way to bring the community out to our stadium. And it's a continued partnership that we've had with Special Olympics Utah, starting with our unified team and continued with more and more with, Pull for a Cause and, Polar Plunge. We've supported at other locations. We thought, why not at America First Field?
All right.
How's it going to work, Rashawn?
Yeah, I am. So, when I close my eyes, I can see the stadium. I see the layout. How does this work?
Yeah,
you got like 10 tubs or something?
Yeah, just big old horse trough.
Yeah, I think Special Olympics Utah has a special pool. We're going to pull it up right out to our pavilion stage, and it's going to be a great way where you jump off the stage. You got a nice little backdrop there and into a little cold bath of water.
Rashawn, you said you'd do it.
I did say I do it. I did. Just a full-on jump into what's the temperature? Do you know? Nat, how cold was it last time you did it? YouTube, Brady. How what are we talking about here?
It was far from warm.
In your professional opinion.
Yeah, it was. I was lucky enough that it was a heated pool. So
Nat.
I didn't get the.
You didn't get the cold. You plunged into a warm pool.
Well, we were.
Natalie gets the special treatment. We just like her too much.
I'd like to sign up for Nat's pool, please.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about why take the plunge, because it's a fundraiser, annual fundraiser. You did one on the 17th, and you have another two after this one on Thursday at the RSL Stadium. But it supports all the programs y'all do, right, Brady?
So, I mean, the biggest purpose behind it is that it shows the Special Olympics is more than sports. It's about confidence and friendships and belonging. And honestly, it just gives the community like a great chance to come out and show support for their athletes.
I like
I
that.
love that, yeah.
How many Special Olympic athletes approximately do you think we have here in Utah? I know it's growing as folks learn about it. But you two have been participating for quite a while yourselves.
Yep.
What's your sport?
Well, my sport, before dance, I actually got started because of soccer. Soccer was actually where I started with Unified. RSL Unified was actually my very first unified soccer team that I was actually involved in.
Very cool. Full circle. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm actually very thankful and very happy that I was able to have that opportunity.
And plunge into a warm pool.
Yeah, warm, yes.
Yeah.
So Special Olympics Utah has been around since 1971. It's a non-profit operated by Utahns for Utah's citizens with intellectual disabilities. 5 decades of sports, and y'all are involved in, making this thing happen, Brady.
It's a little bit of everything, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm constantly like running around the state, like helping with it. Speaking at whatever event they need me to.
Yeah, I love it. What's your sport again?
So, I compete in golf and bowling, and then right now I'm competing in Topgolf and basketball.
I love it.
Oh, nice.
So the Polar Plunge Series, again, is there's 3 more times. One is Thursday at the stadium in Sandy with RSL. And Kyle, do you have some players signing up to take the plunge to give some inspiration?
There's the question.
Are you taking the plunge?
I will be taking the plunge.
So, Rashawn, you can go with Kyle.
There we go. Partner up.
Absolutely. So I'll be taking the plunge. Our players are currently in Portugal getting ready for the season, so unfortunately they will not be there.
They went all the way to Portugal to get out of this.
Yeah, exactly. But we will have our Utah Royals captain, Paige Cronin, will be there.
Okay.
And kicking it off will be Leo. So Leo kicked off the last Polar Plunge that was in Daybreak. And so our mascot will lead the charge, make sure the water's all right, and then jump with anyone who might be a little bit afraid as well, and kind of be that extra little bit of confidence. So Leo promised me today that he's going to jump as many times as need to.
Leo always shows up.
Yeah.
In the mascot outfit?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That
yeah.
seems like it keeps him insulated.
For a little bit until it gets
I
wet.
don't know.
Until it gets
Yeah,
wet.
that water goes everywhere.
Oh, my gosh. So, Wendy, you're leaning over my shoulder. How did it go on the 17th, which was last week, right?
It went really, really well. For that day, we did a little over $34,000 in fundraising.
Oh, wow.
Which was awesome. We had about 125 plungers. Leo, of course, was the star of the show. And it was just a great day. It's a great day to get out and just have some fun.
And support Special Olympics of Utah and all the hundreds, if not thousands, of athletes, right?
We have over 6,000 athletes.
There we go. That's the
I
number I was
thought that
looking
was the
for.
number, yeah.
Hey, Brady and Nat Squeaks, if you're not following her on
On
Instagram,
Insta.
she's been posting about the new mural here at KRCL. But, if you're not plunging, what is your pitch to folks to come and plunge anyway? Like, Rashawn's going to be there. Leo's going to be there.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, if you raise enough money, you get some really cool polar plunge merchandise.
And by the way, you can plunge individually or start a team, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we've got this on Thursday. What time is that again, Kyle? Let's swing the mic back over there.
Yeah, so registration begins at 5 o'clock. Plunging actually begins at 6 o'clock. So if you're there, it should be nice and cold. We'll let the sun set a little bit, make sure it gets extra chilly.
Oh my gosh.
But no, for all plungers too, we'll have a nice little reception. We'll have places where you can warm up.
Some hot chocolate maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
all right.
Exactly.
Rolling out the
All
red
right.
carpet.
Then there's 2 more chances after Thursday. North Ogden on the 7th of February, Cedar City on the 21st. So, folks, you can sign up individually or be a team captain and get a crew to go with you to the Polar Plunge on Thursday. The Stadium Plunge at America First Field. Is there a website or socials we want to send them to, Brady or Nat? SOUT.org.
Of course, there's Special Olympics Utah on Instagram and Facebook and pretty much every major social media platform. Also, I had to say about that daybreak plunge really quick. Leo started that by belly flopping off a ladder.
No way.
That sounds painful.
Leo goes hard.
Like I'm saying, he's got padding and that's it.
Leo's
You
a
were
great
just
time.
discrediting Laura. You still got to do it.
I'm not
just-
sure what you mean by suit. It's Leo. Like, there is no suit. It's just
Yeah, this
Leo.
is just
I
this is
keep
just who he
thinking
is.
Leo's in a like a mascot suit. So
We love having Leo around.
some
He's
bubble wrap.
so much fun.
Maybe some bubble wrap. If I jumped in bubble wrap, that might work.
Leo's just great.
Okay.
He's the life of the party. Anywhere he goes,
Yeah.
any Special Olympics event, he's invited to. He's like the person everyone goes to.
Awesome.
Only person I've ever met who can give Natalie some competition for how much positive energy he brings.
Facts.
Well, thank you so much for coming back. And I think you should send us some video of Rashawn taking the plunge on Thursday. You're going to be there, right? At 5?
I'm looking at my schedule as we speak.
Thanks so much for coming in, folks. You too, Kyle. And check tonight's show notes. There's links up already. We're going to go across the hall now. And Sammy, let's just get into a song. What you got up first?
This first song is called You Tell Me. It's one of Justin's lyric sheets that I found. Hey driver, won't you pull over and give me a chance? Yes, I know this ain't a stop, but I just cannot let her pass. 'Cause I've been hot and bothered since the last time I saw her, and I just gotta know right now. I ain't asking you to wait, just stop and let me out. I don't know, could it be? Is this love? You tell me. I don't know what to believe. Is this love? You tell me. Woo. Now I know, because it shows that you don't think I got what it takes. But we'll never find out if you don't catch me this break. So stop, please just stop. Mister, don't you make me wait another block. I just gotta know her name. I don't know, could it be? Is this love? You tell me. I don't know what to believe. Is this love? tell me. Woo.
And it's being live streamed, from what I understand, on our YouTube channel. Sammy, that was wonderful. So 10 songs on this new album, huh?
10 songs. That's all. I limited myself to that. I could have written 50.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Is Kono in there with you? I keep hearing
Yeah, that
so
barking.
his dog barking. Anyway, folks, we're going to sit here and talk for a few and then play some more songs, Sammy. So let's remind folks where you first met Justin Townes Earl.
I met Justin when I was 11 years old at the State Room. I couldn't go into the show, but he was smoking cigarettes outside of the venue, and he signed my guitar, and I was, dressed to impress because he was my hero, and I think he thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, there's a classic photo of the two of you, and you do look like a little mini Justin Townes Earl.
Yes, I was flown out to Nashville to be on his album cover, Single Mothers, to play mini Justin. And
No way. That's amazing.
I was born for the part.
And you also were in the middle of Sundance. You were playing on the streets up there too, weren't you?
Yeah, Park City, that was the first place I actually ever busked with a guitar and just put out the case, and people were giving me cash, and I was able to buy that hat that I used to impress Justin.
There you go.
But yeah, that's I'm so sad it's moving. Isn't it?
Right?
It is.
Going to Boulder.
It's going.
It's the last year for
Boulder
you.
Don't
next
tell
year.
me it's true.
the rumors are true, sir. Sorry.
So, Sammy, tell me about writing the songs, recording the songs, and are you pleased with how it turned out?
I'm going to be playing these songs for the rest of my life. I've written stuff 2 months ago that I'm already sick of playing. And I wrote this 2 years ago, and I don't see me stopping anytime in the future with these ones.
Yeah, so you got the journals.
Yeah, yeah. Has his wife heard the album yet?
Yeah, she was one of the first people to hear it, and yeah, I'm excited to get a record into their hands. I don't think they have one yet, but yeah, from what I hear, everyone is really stoked on this record, and I just can't thank Jen and Etta enough for letting me do this.
Now, before we started the show, Sammy was telling us a story about another project that's coming to fruition.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's a book out there as well.
Yes, Justin had a biography written about him by a guy named Jonathan Bernstein, who just the book is so beautiful. It doesn't glorify the troubling parts, but it also doesn't judge as well. It's so it just tells his story, and we come up with the rest in our head. But as a Justin fan, it's the little antidotes in there are just so fascinating, and there's a lot more stuff out there that he has done that we just have never heard, and it gets me so hyped up.
So when did the two of you cross paths, so to speak, with you with the album and Jonathan Bernstein with What Do You Do When You're Lonesome, this biography?
I had heard he was making this book, and he saw that I had announced it for the 23rd of January as my release date, and he was like, I'm the 13th of January. That's crazy. We're 10 days apart, and both of our projects are for Justin. And we just really kicked it off, and it was nice to talk to someone else who also got to have he got an incredibly personal journey with his research, but Justin had some journals where he was talking to himself, and it's really heartbreaking, and we hadn't had anyone to talk to about it with So it was really nice.
Yeah,
I
you were
bet.
just in Nashville.
Therapeutic almost,
Mhm.
yeah.
You were in Nashville just for a book reading, and you played at the same time, right?
Yes, Jonathan Bernstein invited me out to that at Grimey's in Nashville, which Justin has released records there, and a lot of people from the book and family members of Justin's was there. So I was just so honored to be a part of it.
Let's get another song. Which would you like to play next for us from the journals?
I am going to play a song that I actually ended up writing with Justin because I'd never written with him before, and I took this as the opportunity to. It's called Lord, I'm Ready Now. I've traveled down 1,000 lonesome roads. I've been lost and found, and that's all that you've been told. Lord, I'm ready now, ready now. Lord, come take me now, take me now. I've flown in planes and I've traveled across the sea. I've fallen in love, you've taken people close to me. Lord, I'm ready now, ready now. Lord, come take me now, take me now. I've talked to God, I said sometimes I regret, but I beat the odds, this guitar's all I got left. Lord, I'm ready now, ready now. Lord, come take me now, take me now. Whoa, whoa. I've sang some songs for the rich and poor alike. I've opened up some hearts and I've opened up some eyes. Lord, I'm ready now, ready now. Lord, come take me now, take me now. I've made mistakes and I've made my amends. I've built a family and I've lost a lot of friends. Lord, I'm ready now, ready now. Lord, come take me now, take me now. Lord, I'm ready now, ready now. Lord, come take me now, take me now. Lord, I'm ready now, ready now. Lord, come take me now, take me now.
Oh, Sammy
Man,
Brue.
so good.
Awesome, thank you.
That's fantastic. Lord, I'm ready now. It's on the Journals album. You've already actually dropped it, but the album release is on Saturday. The Stateroom, doors at 7, show at 8. Anybody else with you? Is this you and the guitar up on stage?
Daniel Young and M. Horton Smith are opening up. Yeah, I'm excited. And then we are all going to do like some Justin sing-alongs at the end.
Nice.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic. So tell us about this blue vinyl. it's such
It's a beautiful record.
aqua blue record.
Yeah, it's Justin loved turquoise. He wore turquoise rings, and so they asked if we were to do a fun color, what do you want to do? And it was like, blue, turquoise. I think it just matched the vibe.
Yeah, you're gonna have some there for folks to pick up.
I
at the
am.
show?
They are going to be regular vinyls, so I'm sorry.
The blue went
I,
fast.
I had to. Yeah, they went fast, and I had to rush order some
that makes
vinyls
sense.
to the show. So.
No worries. So where are you taking this next? You're gonna hit the road?
I am going to try to hit the road as much as humanly possible. That's the plan.
I have a question. So I know we have the journals. So what can you walk some of us through the process of writing some of these songs? Because like I was telling Laura, I'm like, he sounds so close. It's wild. And I'm not religious by any stretch. Anybody who knows me knows that. But it feels like you are literally channeling Justin. It's wild, Sammy.
I had a lot of time to dive into this, and it's been an emotional roller coaster, a lot of self-reflection. This is my first record where it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just trying to do my best to honor that. And so it's taken me to a very disciplined mindset, or as disciplined as Sammy Brue can get it.
So when you were working through these songs, and I'm guessing there's more than the 10 that ended up on the album, Sammy, when you came to like kind of a crossroads, like something wasn't working or his words versus where you were going, how did you resolve that?
Honestly, it was all a labor of love. I can't recall one song where it was like, man, that was a pain in the butt. Like, all of these songs, I didn't try to force it.
Yeah.
I just sat there and kind of looked like a lunatic at 3 a.m. with, 10 journals around me. But my main job was to help archive and make sure all of these pages and writings have copies, just in case anything happens down the road.
Yeah.
It was, it's been my little secret from the world for what feels like forever. And, now it's everyone's, and it's a little bittersweet.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I can't speak for listeners, but as a fan of both you and Justin, it feels like, you not only just accepted this challenge, because I know it had to be a challenge because of, like you said, you're archiving his words, his thoughts, his feelings through your own music. So the responsibility of that has to be just so large, and but you climbed that mountain and you killed it, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And then this project also helps his family, right?
Yes, we got a really good deal with Bloodshot Records, and whatever this album makes will go towards Justin's wife and child.
Well, Sammy, let's play one more. And folks, tickets are available. I've got a link online, but we also have 3 to give away.
Yeah, we do.
Do we give them away all at once or 3 singles? What do you think?
I think three singles.
Okay, 3 singles.
We'll provide you, but you got to bring your plus one.
Go. And I don't know how close it is to being sold out, but it is Saturday at the State Room in Salt Lake City. Doors at 7, show at 8. Sammy Brue, what are you going to play here off the journals?
I'm going to play a song called Older Than I Ever Thought I'd Be, and it's just a bunch of really cool one-liners from Justin that I smushed into one song.
Okay, 801-359-9191 if you want to go see Sammy Brue, the Journal's album release on Saturday.
I've always known the heart to be a highway straight to hurt. Yeah, all my life it seems that that's been all it's worth. So for years I've been hiding on the darkest edge of town, or anywhere I knew that love won't come around. But now the feeling's coming back, falling hard for you. And baby, I am scared if you want to know the truth. Well, now I'm older than I ever thought I'd be. Never asked no man for anything, never prayed in my life, yet I got scars on my knees. See now, everything you know today, it does not mean a thing. No, 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 watch some watch them leave. I pay them no attention and they pay none to me. Well, I'm just a regular in the same old place, and I tell the same old stories I did yesterday. And when it's closing time, I'll go somewhere, maybe get some sleep. Tomorrow I get up and do the same damn thing. Well, now I'm older than I ever thought I'd be. Never asked no a man for anything. Never prayed in my life, yet I got scars on my knees. See, now everything you know today, it does not mean a thing. No, 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 no.
Oh, Sammy Brue. Rissan, that was good. Thanks so much, Sammy. We'll see you at the show, okay?
Thank you guys so much.
And we gave away 2 of the tickets. We have 1 more. So while we play this next conversation with Professor Amos Giora, author of The Crime of Complicity, we will ask for another caller at 801-359-9191. 1 more single ticket to go to see Sammy Brue at the State Room on Saturday, Rissan.
Oh, yeah. Be there, be square. I'll see y'all.
Dr. Amos Giora, thank you for joining me today on what is International.
When we think back to the 1930s in Germany, and I remind your distinguished listeners that Hitler was elected to power democratically. There is no coup. There is no violent overthrow of the previous government. He's elected. And I think more than anything, it reinforces, and others have written about this, but I think it's right. It's the fragility of democracy. And I think the fragility of democracy is exacerbated by social media. You know, in the old days, there was NBC, CBS, and ABC, and then that was replaced by CNN. Today, everybody's a reporter. And one of the challenges, and not only is everybody a reporter, but as I understand it, there's this new thing called AI. And so, take me as a modest example. I watched videos of Minneapolis like anybody else, different angles, this video, that video. So you have to be really careful what's true and what's not true. What is accurate, what is not accurate. And that plays into the fragility of democracy, because we here in the United States, ask any first grader, they're taught the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. And I do think that there's going to be a requirement, or at least a recommendation, that we ask ourselves in this problematic age, do we need to ask ourselves how much does social media impact what we have always taken for granted, the freedom of speech? It's challenging. It also means there's an extraordinary amount of disinformation out there. And my very modest contribution to that, as an example, and you know this, is I speak to junior high school students here in the Salt Lake area about the Holocaust, because trust me, I'm well aware of the fact there's Holocaust denial. quote unquote, out there. And I think that the fact that schools are willing to give me the opportunity to meet with junior high school students is, I mean, there are no words for that. I think that to be congratulated is an understatement. So when I think about, Holocaust Memorial Day, Remembrance Day, I don't like the word memorial, Remembrance Day. First of all, 6 million Jews were murdered. And I add, in the age of Holocaust denial, in parentheses, you know this, my late mother could not wrap her mind around Holocaust denial. We need to be really careful with what is being articulated and what is being, if you will, misarticulated. Body language, if you will, we talked earlier about, I'm sorry, I don't remember the gentleman's name, the now to-be former.
Commander Bovino.
Bovino. So I listened to Commander Bovino, and much of an impression he did make on me in terms of his articulation. What bothered me are two things. Again, historically, I'm a big believer in body language. I think the word in English, probably the way he struts around or struts about, that for me was discomforting. And the other thing that I don't know where this is coming from are the fact that the ICE officials are all wearing masks. That, and as you know, I participate in demonstrations in Israel, and I've had my interactions with police, and I have a book coming out about it. In Israel, the police don't wear masks. We know who they are. They even have their, what do they call it, their ID number, right? You can film them. I mean, I film cops. Totally, sure. And it is, I mean, both sides know how this works. And I speak as one who's had physical engagements with police in Israel. The fact that ICE can walk around with a mask up to above their nose with the sunglasses. Yeah, and I saw yesterday online that one of the reasons they're doing it is because they don't want their families to know who they are. I don't buy that. I think that's a spin, right? I believe you'll know more than me. The Washington Post headline is or was, I don't know now, with Bezos, used to be democracy and the sun, the dark, is most of, to protect democracy requires shining a bright light, or however it was phrased by probably the Catherine Graham and family, maybe Ben Bradley. Can't hide behind a mask. That's one. Two, and I listened carefully to the Secretary of Homeland Security, Noam, and Stephen Miller, who we could have a long conversation about Mr. Miller. The rush to judgment, that worries me enormously. And as you know, I teach, global perspectives on counterterrorism. To label the deceased in Minnesota as a domestic terrorism, as an assassin who came to do, I've learned over the years, and I've been around the block, on these kinds of issues, the first thing you do is you investigate. And then, you can reach your conclusion. And the rush to judgment, and the Secretary of Homeland Security, who I understand is fighting for her job now, and labeling him as a domestic terrorism. I teach terrorism, and trust me, I know what a terrorist is, right? He had a permit to carry a handgun. He had a handgun with him. By all videos, he did not have the handgun on him when he was shot. That's not a domestic terrorist. And I now saw another clip of different other people being physically, for no seeming reason, pushed to the ground. So that takes me, again, with all the caution in the world. There are different forms of violence, and when you think about, before we get, in Germany, before we got to Kristallnacht, which is in many ways, in retrospect, perhaps when the Holocaust was going to begin, there were laws in place. There was physical encounters with Jews. There were laws in place or enacted. It is this step-by-step process, and as you know, my research is on enablers. And obviously bystanders, but here the enabling question, yesterday I listened to, and I'm sorry I don't remember her last name, the president's press secretary, Carolyn Levitt. So we can have a discussion about her effectiveness. Yesterday, my take on it was she was backtracking, which I think probably comes from the president. I think the president also realized that this rush to judgment was, I assume, hurting him politically. One of the dangers is, I'm not sure if this is the right term, rush to judgment, because you're then unintended consequences. Other protesters are in harm's way. Again, as I speak as one who's been to, I don't know how many demonstrations. In the context of the Holocaust, for me, preserving democracy is an all hands on deck undertaking. The recognition that enablers cause harm and must be held accountable. My research focuses on that. And three, democracy is edgy. I mean, there are loud voices out there, and I understand that. Trust me, I do that in Israel. But that doesn't mean that if I'm protesting, you don't like the way I'm protesting, that you can shoot me.
Yeah.
And it's a slippery slope. And that, I think, to your question, is what worries me greatly.
You mentioned the fragility of democracy, and one of the things that democracy relies on is good faith actors. And I feel under every politician, there's a bit of pushing on what is good faith and what isn't. But in particularly under this administration, the weaknesses of our democracy are laid bare because the good intentions, shall we say, enshrined in our founding documents, they can be pushed and are being pushed.
So what worries me is the lack of guardrails. I keep asking friends of mine who are more involved and more engaged than me, where's the US Congress? We have separation of powers, and we have checks and balances, and we have a Supreme Court, we have a Congress, and we have an executive. The noise, or the noise, which I applaud, is coming from the street. By the way, the same in Israel, where our opposition parties are weaker than my non-existent hair. And I don't really, maybe I'm missing, more than I do, but I don't see members of Congress standing up.
Yeah, the power of the purse, even though the Democrats don't hold any power in either body, they have enough that they could stop money flowing.
And somebody wrote me yesterday that perhaps the members of Congress, are thinking midterm elections, and my response to that was, I have to be polite because we're on the air, was eye roll,
Yeah.
with adjective. Because midterms are primaries and midterms. There are 2 people have been killed in Minneapolis. There's no spin here. And to, if you will, hide or justify midterm elections, that too is not only is it ineffective, but it doesn't reflect legitimate opposition. And protesting is no fun. Demonstrating is, nobody enjoys this. Right? It's cold, it's hot, it rains, and whatever. But if you're not, you got to protect democracy. We're all engaged in it differently. The question of, and this is it's a very interesting question, whether engagement on social media, whatever social media platform you use, is that a form of engagement? And there's much discussion on that. But I would think that the events of the past days must give pause in terms of executive power. Again, the social media, and where do we go from here? So I understand that President Trump and the governor of Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the mayor of Minneapolis have had a conversation. Person A has been replaced by person B. The Homeland Security Secretary had a 2-hour conversation with the president. You got to read the tea leaves here. Strikes me, again, I'm sure people are far more tuned in than me, that perhaps the president recognizes that, first of all, what happened was awful. And perhaps from his perspective, politically, the rush to judgment, which is so dangerous, of Miller and Noam, caused him damage, which is perhaps why he's backtracking. Where will that go, and what will happen when there's a demonstration in the next coming days, and there'll be another person holding the iPhone and filming ICE? How will they react to that? And that will be, I think, where the rubber hits the road. And that, back, we'll circle to the Holocaust. We can talk forever, but at the end of the day, it's actions that matter. And I think there's a need. Needs to be a recognition that, again, I'm repeating, I apologize, but the fragility of democracy requires all hands on deck. And because I'm so involved in Israel, I use that as a model in terms of us demonstrating. Have pictures surrounded by pictures of demonstrations, 5, 6, 7 years. Including my 3-year-old granddaughter. It's hard, and it's no fun, but there's no plan B. And for me, the two uncomfortably tie together, and that's why I sent you, perhaps with discomfort, the post on Facebook of my book and the very gracious and generous words of one of the poster, in essence tying events of today to my book about the Holocaust.
So the crime of complicity, the bystander in the Holocaust is what you're referring to. And I guess I kind of want to go out with what I think people will be asking you on February 8th when you speak at Congregation Kol Ami, and that is, what do we do now? Given your long view of history, not only that, but global entanglements that you teach about, is there anything that we can draw from history that will work? Because, speaking politely, we're beyond that. We're way beyond that now.
I agree. I think that, bring, if you will, the Holocaust in Israel to this, right? This is no time for, I'm going to talk to you as an Israeli and not in the sugar-coated that we speak here, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
This is not the time for sugarcoating and kumbaya. This is the time for clearly articulating the dangers and the threats. And the killing in Minneapolis, you watch the video, it speaks for itself. Different cultures have different norms, different mores, I know. But I think there needs to be an understanding that ICE and whoever ICE is or what ICE intends to be does not view itself as subject to the rule of law. And I don't know if you saw this last week. I don't know if the word is leaked or put it out there, that ICE, to come to your home, they don't need a warrant. So yeah. I teach Fourth Amendment. I teach criminal procedure. Had a discussion in class today about the warrant requirement as compared to warrantless. And I've been teaching criminal procedure for years. The warrant requirement is for real. It's not fake. Thomas Jefferson, were he here, and his complicated relations with the crown, there's a reason the Fourth Amendment is there. And the warrant requirement is the warrant requirement. We're protecting you from the state. And absent, I know, exigent circumstances, which I've also, understand well because I teach this. But if we were coming to your house deliberately, I am not saying exigent circumstances. And again, absent exigent circumstances. And if there's a belief that we can circumvent the Fourth Amendment, go back slippery slope. Those are the kinds of measures on the assumption that the leaked memo indeed it reflects a policy or intent of a policy. It requires all of us to recognize that, again, maybe finish with this, the fragility of democracy is not an abstract, amorphic phrase. It's real, and it has consequences.
Fragility of our democracy, Professor Giora. Check tonight's show notes for a link to his lecture he's giving at Congregation Kol Ami on February 8th. It's a lecture at 10, light breakfast at 9:30. So that's such a heavy conversation here on International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Well, it is, Laura. Especially when in our country where or not even our country. Let's get more local. In our state where we are predominantly right-leaning, red, Republican state,
controlling all the levers of government.
all the levers, and then you hear something like a leaked document talking about how we don't need to subscribe to the Fourth Amendment. So I call out, like, where is everybody? Where's all our 2FA crowd? Where's our people who are like, just do what they say? When now it's no longer just, like, where's your documentation? Now it's just, I suspect that someone that lives here might be, someone who is undocumented. And that gives me carte blanche to kick down a door. Is that the world that we live in? That's no. So it's like everybody wants to talk about what should be done here, but when it's all said and done, where's accountability? Yeah.
And how do you hold power to account when they control all the levers of power?
All the levers.
And that's why, more people in the streets. The 30th of this month, right, is the strike that is being called out in Minneapolis. And starting to see folks get some steam here for that.
Yeah.
Not everybody can strike.
Right.
You got to pay the bills. So I was kind of wondering what to do. So I turned to this gentleman I found online. His name's Tad Sturmer. He's a public historian, teacher, author of the forthcoming book, A Resistance History of the United States, coming out in June of this month. I'm still trying to connect with him because I played a piece by him before. He's living in Denmark now.
Oh, wow.
For the safety of his family. He's
outspoken.
He's
clearly.
very outspoken, and I wanted to understand something a little closer than Germany in World War II.
Right.
It goes back a little farther than that, but it's still our country, and we're turning 250 this year, so maybe we all need a refresher.
Yes.
All right.
Or some civics classes.
There we go. Well, up at the hill, they're talking about requiring it. I'm just concerned which civics are they going to pick and choose.
Yeah, facts.
But anyway, here is Tad Sturmer from a recent TikTok post.
Now, world history tells us that tyrants have never been persuaded or protested out of power, ever. Not once. They don't stop. They're stopped or they run out of energy on their own. Don't argue with me, argue with folks like Hannah Arendt. It's as close to a historical truth as anything we've got. But we don't have to go to world history. We can just look at our own. But let's leave that to the side just for the moment and deal with the other foolishness. That the minority in American government is powerless. That if they tried to push back, they would not only lose, the costs would be catastrophic, even civil war. Peace is more important than ending the abuse. So let's just keep on persuading. Sure, there are casualties, but that's the price of freedom. Now that argument should be a familiar one to any historian of the United States. Preserving the Union, our stability, is more important than ending slavery, ending the abuse. So just accept the casualties, the body count. Keeping our peace is worth more than ending your suffering. What would you do? Risk civil war? We've been here before, more times than we can count, fighting the same fight against the same argument. One of the first times, one of the biggest times, an abusive authority wanted to consolidate its power. The United States could be great, they said, a power on the world stage, an engine of wealth. But the problem? Our government was just too weak. It couldn't fight enemies that were on the inside. America was under threat from within, about to be toppled at any moment by gangs of lawless mobs. So they needed more power to stop them and make America great. All that was needed was law and order, a firm hand, a new government that collected power and put it in their hands. But the opposition said, that's a lie. The threat's not real. They're just making it up to justify the power grab. And since when was America about power and wealth? We thought it was about liberty and rights. The response? We need stability. We need peace. Oppose us, and America will dissolve into civil war. Your liberty and rights will be nothing if we're not first strong. So what did the opposition do? They cave? No, they fought. They used all the leverage they had. What did they care about? What did they want? Well, first, they wanted a new version of that federal government, one not shoved down their throats, not imposed on them. They could do better if more voices were involved, including people who saw other things in what America could mean beyond power in the world stage and wealth for a few at home. And they wanted protections for rights. That's what the American Revolution was supposed to have been about. At least their version of the American Revolution was about that. But the nationalists, we call them federalists, doubled down on the fear-mongering. The mob is at the gates, ready to take over. We can't wait. We need law and order now. America is about to collapse. Can't you see it? And so they moved fast. First, they operated in secret, keeping their plan for a government away from people before they were ready to launch it. And then they moved quickly to implement it. They were so fast and so effective that the opposition, we call them anti-federalists, but they didn't use that term, was caught. They didn't yet have their arguments or their organization. They had to catch up fast. But the Federalists had a massive head start, lots of organization, and a drive for more power. So what did the anti-federalists do? Give up? See they would likely lose and then stop and hope that they could change things later? No, they forced the fight. They pushed for everything. A new constitutional convention, a new version of that government. Even as the Federalist juggernaut rolled over state after state, the anti-federalists began to find their voice, find their message. So was it too late for them when they got to Virginia and enough states had already ratified the Constitution for it to go into effect? Was the fight over? No, you force the fight. You still have leverage. Virginia was the largest state with the biggest economy. The new government really couldn't function without it, even if on paper it might try to function without Virginia. And more to the point, it was home to the main movers of the new government, like James Madison and George Washington. You could hit them where it hurts, in their egos. One of the best things about their new government to them was that they would run it. Keep Virginia out, and where does that leave them? On the outside looking in. So the Anti-Federalists worked on that and kept pushing. Get whatever you can, make them earn it, make them concede, nothing's off the table. And if they can't get everything, then enough to matter. Don't start small and settle for less. Start by demanding everything and make them pay a price for what they get out of it. And what did the opposition get? The Bill of Rights. Those freedoms that for many define what it means to be an American. Yeah, that thing. Were they a gift of Madison's genius or Hamilton's vision? Hell no. They both opposed them, fought tooth and nail against them. Those American values weren't their American values. They even argued that their America would be greater without them. Really. The Anti-Federalists forced the fight and earned the Bill of Rights, a product of American resistance, not American reform, and not American restraint. So when you hear people today say, plead with Republicans to reform, maybe you should take a page out of our resistance history and demand that Democrats force the fight, call the bluff. Don't accept the body count as the regrettable cost of a stability that only serves to embolden further abuse. Senate Democrats have told you that they know what they can do. They remembered the protections built into our system, the rights of the minority against the tyranny of the majority. Remember all that? They told you they know their leverage. They can stop ICE and the rest of the authoritarian parade by shutting off their funds. It doesn't even take every Democrat, just enough, 41 votes, to send the Republicans to the table. Ro Khanna has laid out just what they can and should do with that. The response of Senate Democrats? Nah, we can't do that. We just need reform, training, conditions, maybe even hearings. We can't risk conflict. Yes, this government is abusive. My gosh, they're fascists. We can call them that now. Thanks, Atlantic. But we can't really do anything about that. Start small, and maybe we'll get less. That makes the Republicans just as powerful as they say they are. But of course they're not. The congressional Democrats need the winner-takes-all language to center all attention on winning in November. Forget about what we're losing today. So when people tell you things like, whatever you would do in the 1930s in Germany is what you're doing now, tell them that you don't need to go somewhere else for lessons. We have plenty of our own. The New England Patriots of the American Revolution, the Anti-Federalists, the Black resistance, and after far too much time, the white resistance to the First Republic, the radical Republicans who established our democracy, 1775, 1788, 1789 to 1860, 1866. What would you have done then? Are you a loyalist, saying the British Constitution is great and just needs reform and resistance will do nothing but create conflict? Are you a Federalist, saying the U.S. Constitution is great and just needs reform and resistance will do nothing but create conflict? Are you an ally of the enslavers, like Daniel Webster and the Loomwig, saying, well, the U.S. Constitution is great and resistance will do nothing but create conflict? Or are you a liberal Republican, really, a historical term, saying the U.S. Constitution is great and needs no more reform and further resistance will do nothing but create more conflict? Sense a theme here? Either way, that's what you're doing now. So the question is not really whether you're opposing Nazi Germany. Keep your head in this fight, in our context. Are you a loyalist or are you a patriot? Are the people you're listening to loyalists, forever committed to reform, to maintaining the establishment, or patriots who see the need for change and are willing to do what it takes to get it? You do you. I'm just a historian. I can only tell you what worked and what didn't and why. That's why those letters are after my last name. But whatever you do, base it on the facts. Base it on what people really did. Not some magical thinking about a country that never existed. Or you can bet your life on the belief that America is exceptional, is magical, will be the first country in history that persuaded abusive authority to end the abuse through the sheer strength of their very special moral superiority. That's all I got today, folks. Alonzi.
That is Tad Sturmer.
Damn.
Public historian, teacher, author of the forthcoming book, A Resistance History of the United States, coming out Penguin Random House in June. You might call your favorite local bookstore and request that in advance. So what do you think?
Well, I mean, he put the light.
Yeah?
He put the it just shows like it feels like there's cowardice.
Yeah.
It's cowardice that if we know that we could be defunding this and stopping this and really, because if what you're seeing is so appalling, you know, and you have the power to shut down or turn off the faucet, then why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Two different sides to the same coin, Laura.
Rashawn Leak, thanks so much.
Of course.
That's our show. Here's a little bit of Annie Ryder, Mass Man Blues.
We got
Night.
the blues, Laura. We got the blues.
You said I got a gun in my holster. Don't you put up no fight. I said, masked man, why don't you leave me be? I said, masked man, why don't you leave me be? You said there ain't no law in this here country could ever apply to me. I said, masked man, don't you take my baby child. I said, masked man, don't you take my baby child.
KRCL, Salt Lake City.
Tomorrow in a fossil just today. The local time is always now. They found tomorrow in a fossil just today. The local time is always now, only always, anyway.
But be know who fi frighten and who fi tell good night. Enough baseline to prove